Hey everybody, this is Shane R. Monroe, and I'm working on my Witcher 3 version of Holding Out for a Hero. And I thought while I was testing this new microphone for a review purpose, that I would take you around a little bit and show you how this thing works and what I'm up to with this video. As you can see, this looks like just about any other video editing program. This is Corel Video Studio X9. Big fan of Corel's work. And essentially we have a nice big video track full of stuff. We got a text overlay track here, and then an audio overlay that actually has the song. So if you select the song or select that track and hit play, jump around the timeline. Right? If I only have that selected, then only that plays. Likewise, I could select up here, and you'll get a visual of what's going on up here. Alright, so let's zoom in. We're pretty far out. So let's zoom in a little bit and see just what was done here. So this first thing, this first cut's a fade. So I want to fade it in. So I chopped a little piece of it off and did a fade in effect that's built in. So let's watch this first part together. But it does give you some a basic look at where things are laid out, and as you're moving through the timeline, it caches them more and more. As you can see, I've got my title track down here. This is handling the MTV video style overlay. All right. Have a clip change. All right, for those of you familiar with the game. Now, there's a lot of times when I'll speed up or slow down video, or I'll even put it out of order just for artistic purposes. So this piece here begins the three ladies, the ladies of the bog, and I spliced in this thing of the candles going out. It kind of fits the where have all the good men gone, where are all the gods. It's sort of like a Mount Olympus type picture. Like I said, unfortunately oops, so it doesn't automatically scroll, which is kind of weird. So mostly I'm really looking to synchronize the song with the Witcher video. Now notice we see bad people through this beginning. This is pretty standard for out for a hero videos. Why is it doing that? Oh, I've got a timeline break right here so that I can control just how much gets exported. There we go. Go back to here. Why is that timeline not moving out? Oh, we'll do it up here. There we go. That'll be good for now. We'll go back. Let's take a look at this again.
Where's the streetwise Hercules to fight the rising ones? Isn't there?
Now, a lot of people will speculate that I purposefully synced her to say, "Isn't there a white knight?" I wish I were that talented, but I'm not. Well, it does look like she's kind of singing along. It's unintentional.
Isn't there a white knight upon the fire?
Now, for those of you who know that scene, that whole scene of him burning these two alive is it's considerably longer. I tightened it up specifically to hit the right moment.
Late at night I toss and I turn. I dream of what I need.
Now, this is interesting. So, just sort of the creative process here. If you go back here, a lot of people will see just those couple of frames in here. Now, I could have had There's a good reason for this, and I just wanted to share this with you. So I had a camera pan. This was already in the cutscene, but the camera pan goes all the way through to here where Geralt jumps out. But in order to transition this, I liked the woman with her hand up. I liked a lot of what these people were doing at this scene, but I couldn't quite get it to sync up with him jumping out. Now you'll notice that this isn't the same video. Like if you were to go back here, now that guy in the front looks kind of the same, but you see there's a couple of women back there. By the time you get here, some of those people aren't there anymore, or they've moved, right? So what I needed was something to distract you from the fact that I was going to make that cut. And going back to this guy enjoying the flames of fire burning was a good choice. And I needed it to sync up with the magic part where Geralt comes out. And this guy gives him that look like, you know what? You ain't got nothing, pal. What are you going to do? Look at him. Right? So this was cut. Again, like I said, everything's cut to fit. Cut to suit. He gives him that look like, what are you going to do? And he turns his back to him. Now for the purposes, of keeping things moving, I didn't want to rely too much on one scene. I wanted to keep things moving fairly quickly. So let's go back here. Let me scroll over. All right. Now this piece here, if you're careful, you'll notice that when I make this, this whole piece right here is actually sped up. So if you jump in here and go to variable speed, you'll see that I've actually increased it to 130% speed, which if you're not looking for it, you don't even notice it, but it was necessary to make the transition work. Plus I didn't want him, it took him too long to walk back through that fire. I liked him walking away. It's gotta be strong, it's gotta be fast, got to be fresh from the fight. Fresh from the fight thing, right, where he's chopping off the guy's head. I need a hero, holding out for a hero till the morning light. He's gotta be soon, gotta be soon. And of course this was planned when they say when Triss lights her fireball. Larger than light, light, right? So you don't know what they're saying, but it sinks in perfectly. All right. Let's see if there's anything else of interest in here. This was kind of fun. Now you'll notice I left the HUD up around the real game elements. I wanted people to know that I wasn't just gathering cutscenes, that this was an actual game that you were playing, not just cutscenes and resequencing cutscenes that were already brilliantly made by the original developers. But I took the opportunity to do some of my own scaling and zooming. I don't do a whole lot of it, but I do it for effect. So in this case, and this is actually to hide something as per normal, when I killed this guy, I loved the kill, but the problem is it jumped over here and it had this big text that said quest completed, witch hunter killed or whatever. So I didn't want that, and there may still be a frame where you see it. I don't think so. I think I trimmed it pretty well. But yeah, you don't see it at all. But it really turned out well. I thought if I zoomed, I could get rid of it. And instead, the zoom actually turned out perfect to kind of zoom in on that final kill. It worked out very well. This was actually planned. This was one of those voice sync ups. I couldn't get it perfect, but it leaves people wondering, did I sync this up or did it just happen to go that way? Check this out. Oh, yeah. You can't really see it, but it looks like Bart the troll says, oh yeah. At least the yeah comes out. The O's a little bit, eh. So here I wanted to transition from this whole introducing Geralt to moving to the somewhere after midnight in my wildest fantasy. Obviously, Witcher 3 is loaded with stuff that you could use for this. But I did want to keep this first video, something that you could watch at work or that you could show your kids. You wouldn't be embarrassed to be watching, right? So while if you look really close, there's a nip slip in here. Now and again, for the most part, there's not. I try to keep the nudity out of it. So we have this transition.
Somewhere after midnight in my wildest fantasy.
Now this is pretty neat. I managed to catch, well, obviously this was sequenced by the original developers, but this pan was perfect, right? The somewhere after midnight and her legs sticking out, it's absolutely perfect. I mean, I tried a couple of other things in there, but this was just dead on perfect. Now, I made this cut specifically just as Geralt turns his head and he kind of smiles. He's got that smile like, yeah. Now, I did clip, there's just like what, maybe 6 frames of a little nippage in there. But I liked her vulnerability. Then she notices him and then she shoos him off. Some are just beyond my reach, so watch.
Somewhere after midnight in my wildest fantasy. Some would just be
She shoos him off, just beyond my reach.
beyond my reach.
Now, I had a transition here specifically. I wanted it to look like he had basically decided he would give her privacy, but you'll notice that he's not moving too much, but you can tell he's thinking about it. Next up is one of the ones a lot of people haven't seen, is a clip of Geralt and Triss having sex in the boat. And again, now this I had to zoom in to get rid of her breasts, right? Because if you remember this scene, if you've seen this scene, it actually comes down to right about here and the boobs hanging out. But I figured I like this reaching out for me piece because she like reaches around his neck. But I had to zoom in to get rid of the blatant boob shot there. So she's reaching out, and that's kind of a nice moment. Then to kind of get you back into the thrill of things, let's do a little more killing.
Somewhere after midnight in my wildest fantasy. Some would just be on my reach. There's someone reaching back for me. Racing on the thunder.
See, I'm not happy with this one. This one will probably get cut. I wanted a horse kill, right? I wanted him racing with the thunder. Now you'll notice it's raining outside. And I wanted a nice, good, clean horse kill. And that was pretty neat. But when it goes full speed, it just kind of loses a little bit of its luster. So this is really a filler clip, which is unfortunate because it's still pretty cool. But I think I can make a better one.
Rising with the heat.
Climbing up into the lighthouse where there's a fire burning, right? You know, some of this is like obvious, not too much subtext going on here. But, you know, this is supposed to be sort of a comic booky, video gamey style thing. If you've seen the other whole...
Rising with the heat. It's gonna take us Superman.
So again, we have an opportunity where I could show gobs of nudity, but no, sometimes it's what you don't.
Just so we may up
So I give you just a taste. You know the hands going down there. Right? You get a little side boob, but that's it. We keep it tasteful. And then, enough of this love crap. We're just going to chop somebody else up. Keep you back in the... So here's where I kind of left off. I liked this pan, but it was long. I purposefully recorded this panoramic shot. I'm using a zoom to try to get rid of the HUD. So for a moment you can just see Geralt amongst the background of the game. Unfortunately, due to getting so close, the image, well, it's not that bad, but it does tend to get a little bit grainy. So I don't like that. So I'm going to try to come up with a different way of doing that. Now, there's a whole bunch of stuff that I've partitioned off, but it's not yet connected to the rest of the video. Stuff that I see and it's like, you know, it has to be there, right? It has to be in this spot of the game. This was a reused piece. I actually opened in the original, the very first cut, I opened with this. It just seemed like an interesting natural transition to sort of give you just a taste, you know, what in the hell is going on. It looks like there's some sort of bloody moose head thing. And that actually led into the beginning. So I haven't found a use for that yet, but I'll get around to it. Let's see. And then I've got another clip here that eventually I'll use. This is where he's carving a trophy. So I love that knife throw bit, and then he reaches down and he stabs the beast. Right? It's a lot like Red Dead Redemption. I liked that bit. And these aren't sequenced to any particular audio. Now this piece is synced to the audio already. This I definitely wanted to have, and there's no other place that I would want to have it. It's perfect. This is a... well, here, I'll just play it. Oops, went back. Let's stop that. Let's go back out here. Right there. Let's go. Why does it keep doing that? Oh, you know what? I keep carving this thing down here. There we go. It's sort of a workspace for those of you who use like Premiere. All right, so let's try it again.
I could swear there's someone somewhere watching me. Through the wind and the chill and the rain.
You have a really nice, good decapitation there with the wind and the chill and the rain going on, right? Again, I've got better video than this. So let's just put a scene in here together, right? Let's just try to come up with something so you can kind of go through the process. And so let's say, for example, we're not going to use this right now. We're not going to use this. I'm not ready for that yet. So let's go back here and we'll kind of preview what we have thus far. We need something different, right? So we need Geralt bursting through something. We need Geralt doing something like super heroic, right? So I've recorded dozens of hours of video while I've been playing, and so some of it I've actually sit here and labeled, right? There's oh, that was the other reason I had the Triss boat. The Triss boat scene that was watermarked with this thing. I totally forgot to turn that off. But you'll recognize it if you'll see here. I had to get rid of the watermark. That wasn't a breast scene in that particular case. So I got, you know, windy with drowners. All right, so, you know, there's plenty of wind and chill and rain and etc. So
I must punish
this guy chops his ear off later. So I thought there's something in there I could possibly use. I don't necessarily, obviously I don't use everything, but it takes fight with Gollum with Kira, right? Like there's a no-brainer that this has to be used somewhere. Anything with Kira in it's good stuff. So could we use something like this? So that's kind of cool. Let's see if there's like a really cool death here. That makes sense. I don't think there is. I think this was kind of a loser piece.
Don't underestimate.
He just kind of falls over. Maybe. It's not my favorite though. If there's anything else in there. Yeah, I'd like it. Yeah, see, that's kind of cool. There's another gargoyle. But see, then I get some overlay that I don't want to use. So let's grab some of the stuff that I've recorded but haven't really
Merchant, try not to
sequenced
come
yet.
around here anymore.
I will.
Let's see. Okay, so this is all mellow stuff. Like you're not gonna get her in here somewhere, right? Let's see.
Excuse me.
What do we
I'm
have
looking.
here?
You here?
Feeling.
This afternoon.
Haven't tried.
There wasn't much there either. Grab another random one. So this is another one that was watermarked, which means my use of it's pretty limited. Oh, I did a lot of writing at night, I think, towards the beginning. This is one of the very, very first things you can see on pretty low level. I think the first drowner attack is in here somewhere.
Hard times, really.
Got my eye on.
There's not. Yeah, see, so we got some. Here's. Oh, here we go. Here you go. Here's the original scene that I cut this from. And I did all my own recording. I didn't go back in. Now notice this one has the watermark. That's why I didn't use it. But see, there's all sorts of pan shots, and he talks about burning witches, etc., etc. You know, so this shot lasts a long time. I clicked it down. Built to suit. Let me see if I can find something worthwhile here. I need something very heroic.
You'd even...
Nice heroic piece. I don't think there's anything in here that's heroic. Fist fight. Now, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll shoot something cool and then I'll immediately stop recording so that I know that there's something cool at the end. So let's take a look here. I think there we go. That'd have been good if there wasn't a tree in the way. Again, there's stuff all over the place. It really makes this. And she kills me anyway. Do I have any more of that? And a lot of times I'll try to actually do dedicated camera pans to try to put the action into a different view. Geralt. Dead. Right. Somewhere, of course, along the way I kill her sorry ass. It's probably in here somewhere.
This the lamp from...
Now see, this is cool. This is good footage in here, right? You got the skull, you got the pan, she's talking to some creepy thing. She's practically falling out of her top. This is all quality material here. There'll be something used when I need a little transition of some sort. Let's see.
Being Mike. Ready?
Let's see if I've got something interesting in here. Now this is all just this
Give me
guy
a-
blabbing.
Show me.
Sometimes you record and nothing fun happens. Oh, this is good stuff here. This was, right, so this is the one where he catches him killing all the women and whatnot.
I'll
Not with the Witcher, but the other guy. Beats the living crap out of him. Trying to think if there's... Okay, so there's some Ciri stuff in here. You know, I was trying to decide whether I was going to put Ciri in here or not. She might get her own video.
Where's you bitch treasure? Fucking kill you!
Let's see again. I get some overlay on there. I think Ciri's going to come in like at the last little piece of it. So I'm going to save her footage.
A witcher!
Okay, so this I think is some good... There's some fighting in here. So this could be very heroic of me beating the living crap out of somebody. Yeah, see, this works out well. If I can make it work right. I need to have him just totally whooping some butt. I think I ended up dead on this one. Couldn't quite get my groove down on this one. Hammer. Let me see if I've got other footage. Yeah, see, that's pretty cool. Except for I get hit afterwards. I like that spinning around action. I want Geralt to be like the man. I want him popping these guys like one after the other. I think I end up losing, yeah.
Closer.
I lost that one. Alright, so maybe that's not quite as heroic as
Make
I
sure
would
no
want,
one's
huh?
asking.
Alright, well this isn't working out very well. It takes hours to dig through this stuff and find what you really want. Okay, so here's a new creature that I haven't dealt with in the game yet. And let's see if there's something kind of cool here. Nothing really great for a killing blow. Considering how many of these killing blows I recorded, there has to be one in here somewhere that I want to use. Let's see. Well, this one was a pretty good fight, I think. Well, see, this one shows him pretty much whooping several people's butt. Oh, except for I died there. But I go back and I finish him. I need the successful version of that. Yes, this one's got fire and brimstone, so we want this.
That's it, you're in for it! Take it from the back!
So that looks pretty good. Like, I could take that whole bit right there and use it. So this is good. We're going to use this one. Alright, so I'm going to grab this guy. I'm going to pull it into my timeline. But I'm going to pull it up to the top where I've got some room. And then what I'll do is I'll hide this guy so it doesn't show up. Then I'll do a basic cut. I'll zoom out here. Do a very basic cut of the area that I want to do so I can trim off all this extra fat. Okay, I think it's before there. I wasn't paying attention to my timeline. Let's see. So there's one here. Okay, was this it? Let's take a look. It's one.
Racing on the thunder, rising with the heat.
Let's see. So we're gonna go back here. I must have fought them several times. Alright, how many times did I fight these guys? Let's see. So, oh, here we go. There was the fire and brimstone version. Let's see. Gotta keep forgetting to open this up. I lost my fire and brimstone version. Alright, so let's see here. There we go. And let's see. See the problem, there we go. So the problem is there's so much video it's hard to fine tune. So what I'll do is I'll chop someplace that I know is before what I'm looking for. And I'll dunk that first one. This will make it a little more finessed. Let's see here. I think I cut it off too far. Oh, wait a minute. Dang it. Unfortunately, I keep getting bothered by an outside individual that I'm having trouble, who's supposed to be in bed. Alright, so let's see here. Come on. Oh, okay, too far back. Let's see. Oops. Wrong thing. Well, let's go back. Grab this. Let's get a time code this time.
Yeah. Oh.
Alright. So
No.
okay, here we go. Oh, look at that. There's a nice somewhere. Yeah, I think it was me. Alright, so alright, so I'm at about 358. So bring that back in. Jump out to about 3. There we go. Alright, so let's cut it here. Split it. Ditch that. Now we should be in better shape. Of course, once you cut it, it has to start recaching. So let's do this. Let's get ourselves, let me get rid of the, there, perfect. Because I wanted to get rid of the, well, I guess the pyre's still there. Alright, so let's do this. We're going to get a little pyre of Novigrad in there. It's just going to happen. Alright. And then we'll cut at the end of the fight. And I'll decide how much of it I'm going to use. Split. Get rid of the end piece. Now I'm ready to take and bring this into the main timeline. Now there's not enough room, so I'm going to have to go in and cut it just a little bit more. So where am I fitting it? So what I can do is bring it down to a transitionary line. For some reason when you bring it in, I have to go in and resize it. Let's see. Customize. Oh, wait a minute. No, there's another way to do this. Oh, it's up here. Original size. There we go. So what I can do is I can kind of offset it within here. Alright, so I definitely want to start there. So let's see how this ends up looking if I just do a straight, simple cut in.
It's gonna take a Superman to sweep me off my feet. Oh, I need a hero, holding up for a hero till the end of the night. But
That goes too long. So let's get where he's just basically beating the crap out of the guy. Alright, just before he turns. That's good. We'll split it, ditch the other piece, drag that up into the main timeline. Now, because it's all choppy, it can be very difficult to decide whether or not that fits. So what I'll do here is I'll grab the project and I'll go ahead and I'll shrink down just around the area that I added. Alright, so I'll put a little dead space on that side. I'll put a little space on this side, and then I'll go ahead and render it as a preview essentially. Right, so I'll create the preview range only, I'll save it to the C drive, and what I'll do is I'll get a very quick render so I can kind of get an idea whether or not I like it. This saves me from having to export the whole thing. I'm also doing this in 30 frames, 15 megabits. So I mean, this isn't the final copy, but it's good enough for a preview. All right, so let me see here. Let's take a look.
it's gonna take a Superman to sweep me off my feet. Oh, I need a hero, holding up for a hero till the end of the night.
That's not bad. With the right cut after that, it would be perfect. So there you go. That's what it takes to make one of these things, unless you're extraordinarily skilled, which I'm obviously not. But that kind of gives you an insight as to the whole process and what it really took to put this whole thing together. This is Shane R. Monroe, the maker of the Witcher 3 Holding Out for a Hero video. Hope you enjoyed it.